your tickets yet, you'll need to contact 371-0200 or visit our website at turfway.com for more details. Those tickets are going quickly. The last Jeff Ruby Stakes in this building, and the tickets are going fast. You want to get involved there. That's a stake event day, our featured day of the year. 6 stakes that day, of course, highlighted by the Ruby. Now, speaking on this Thursday card, 8 races to go here tonight, 38 minutes to post. We'll get right into the race action here. Race number 1 is a start of a 50-cent pick 5. It's maiden 15 to 10 claimers to go 6 furlongs. Now, in this race, my top pick, and I was in between these top 2 horses I'm going to use, and I end up going number 9, Uncle Earl, just on connections. Brereton Jones sends this one out under the tutelage of Wesley Ward, and this one I think is one will benefit from the little increase in distance. Debuted here back on December 28th, going 5.5 furlongs, and it got outfooted early and just kind of chased him from around there, and finally figured out what he was doing late in the Son of Summerfront, came rolling, and was second, just beaten to the stablemate Boo Reed that day. And I think with the increase in distance, the extra 16th of a mile here, I think sets up perfectly for Uncle Earl. He's by Summerfront out of a Rahi mare, and Gerardo Corrales has the call for WW, and Brereton Jones, my top pick in the race. Now, number 5, a Banana Pepper, I'm going to use for second. This one was 4th, well beaten though, up at Mahoney Valley, and that was a straight maiden race in the slop. But prior to that, back here going 6.5 furlongs in early January for the maiden 20 level. In fact, it was 30 down to 20. He was in for the 20, but he was second, beat 2 lengths to Bexar. And this is one I think will be forwardly placed. Has drawn the 5-hole and comes from the barn of Sorello Gorstieta. That one is 3-1. For third, I'm going to use a horse that's up against it. Debuting, has drawn the fence, and at this 6 furlong distance, that horse is going to have to be really, really good to win on debut. But he's very well bred. He's by Blamed out of a kerosene mare named Frio Town. Now, the mare Frio Town has thrown 9 horses to race. 6 of those are winners, including one horse who's 9-time stakes winner. And in fact, 2 of those stakes wins one of them was a grade 2 and one was a grade 3. She earned almost $700,000. So good producing mare in Frio Town. And the son of Blame here, Califani from the Billy Morey stable, will be a factor in here. I think I just, the horse has a good series of works, but if the horse had drawn anywhere but the fence going 6 furlongs on debut, I probably would have moved him up the ladder a little bit just because I respect the connections and the breeding here on this horse. But at 10-1, I don't want to leave this horse off my ticket. Race 1 for me, 9, 5, and 1. Race number 2 starts our 50-cent pick 4 tonight, and every night race 2 here at Turfway. It's a 14% takeout pick 4. And on races 2, 3, 4, and 5, we'll start it off here. We're going to spread a little bit. This is a race I think you need to spread. We're going to end with a single in the sequence, in fact, but this is a filly mare Non-2. $7,500 claimer to go 6 furlongs, and I can make a case for about 6 horses in the race. I end up going with number 4, Tarnished, as the top pick. This one debuted back at Indiana Downs, and in a very good field, was only beaten 14 lengths. Now, she was 7th that day, but coming back on poly debut on December 21st, she rallied from far back, was up against it, was jostled around at the start, and just got up right on the wire despite racing a little bit greenly late through the stretch, and proved to be the winner there. Got a pretty good number, came back on the sheets that day, and Tarnished, she's the daughter of the Factor out of a Tappet mare, so very well bred. Another one for good connections, and Johnny McKee takes over the reins tonight. 6-1. I can't leave this horse off my ticket. I'm making it my top pick in a race that I'm going to spread in the pick 4, though. Now, for second, I'm going to use number 5 at Easter weekend. Anthony Stevens trains and rides this one for the McNamara. She's a daughter of Easter weekend. Hasn't raced since this summer, back in August 31st at Belterra, but did make all the pace to win for the 15 level. Anthony's a very good trainer and a capable rider. He just started back riding his horses. I think maybe he was waiting for the weather to break and for it to warm up before he got back in the saddle. But this one's number stacks up in here on the class drop. I got to use her. She's 10-1. And number 8, Dusty Miller. I like this one's change of jockey to Edgar Perez. I don't think this horse was given the best chance to win last start by the rider who rode it that day. Also, the horse was out of condition. Was racing for the 75 non-3. This horse is a non-2, drops back into the non-2, gets the rider that won on the horse the previous time for the D. Pula stable, and Dusty Miller is another one I'll have to use in there at 4-1, 4, 5, 8 for me in the opening leg of the pick 4. If you come back on and follow us later on, I'll give you that pick 4 ticket. Now, race 3 starts a single 6 jackpot, 20-cent minimum wager. We'll start fresh. That thing was hit on Saturday night, so Usually on Thursday nights, it's somewhere around a $5,000 or $6,000 pool, and I expect the same tonight. And for the minimal investment, I think you'll want to play along. I think this is a very hittable sequence tonight, starting here in race 3. I've got it narrowed down to 3 horses in the single six. The top pick in the race is a 4-1 shot from the barn of Keith Kinman. She's a Lot of Woman, gets the leading jockey tonight, Albin Jimenez. Now this one is a winner at Turfway from 9 starts. She does own 3 second place finishes, and 2 of those seconds have been each of her last 2 starts. She's rounding in the form, and 2 back she came rolling too late, was second, beaten 4 3/4 lengths, and last start she made a move a little too early. So now with the leading jockey, I think he knows how to make the perfectly timed moves here tonight at 4-1. She has to be my top pick in here. Now, there's a horse that's going to take some money in here. I'm going against it. That's the outside horse. I will use her, though. But I'm going to use number 3, Social Circle. That's one that's a decent price horse, 4-1 daughter of Stay Thirsty, who stretched out last start to the mile after coming off that 6.5 furlong performance where she was third, beaten 2 lengths, and she ran out the screen. Now, that was a non-2 for 5, but the way she did it, she had a rough trip, and still, when it was time to go and she finally got clear sailing, she won, and won well. And for a good barn, I want to have her on my ticket. Now, number 12, Girls Got Track. I will use her. She raced here last start and made all the pace and faltered, was 5th, beaten 4 lengths. Now, that was a respectable finish, though. That was at a $15,000 level. Drops in for the nickel here tonight, 7-3-12, race number 3, start of the single six for me. In the 4th race, it's a conditional claimer for horses who have not won a race in a full calendar year, and they'll race 1 mile. 7-5 on the morning line. Mike has tab number 3, Mana Blues, as your favorite, and I think you people will send that horse off at that as well. I think he's a standout in here, but I am going to add some coverage just in case for some reason he gets caught up in a speed duel again tonight. But when I'm looking at the race, I don't see a whole lot of speed in here. I don't think anything has the speed to go and soften him up, so I'm using him on top here. Mana Blues, 7-5, I think is a good price on this horse. For Justin Gotzi and Malcolm Franklin, 2-time winner here at Turfway, 7 for 13 in the money. Now, number 2, Get 'em Up Scout, is 8-1 on the morning line. This one I made Polly debut last start after coming off the shelf. Hadn't raced it September up at Indiana Downs, and chased him around there, just kind of got outfooted, ended up 6th, beaten 6 or 7 lengths, but this one was caught out way wide, gets the 5-pound break in weight tonight, and stretches out to a distance I think this horse will like. Get 'em Up Scout should be, I think, on or near the lead here at 8-1 in race number 4. Another one I'll use that is stretching out is number 9, Elwood's Advice. Will show some pace as well, but doesn't have the speed of the 2, I don't think. But look at the short comment on this horse last start. Should have been, or might have been, the best, and the horse was third, beaten 3 1/4 lengths. 3/4 of a length, and was rolling last start. Sammy Bermudez takes over the reins tonight as the Bug Boy has opted to ride the horse in here who I picked second at 8-1, Get 'em Up Scout. So 3-2-9 for me. I think that's all we need to use in there. Maybe if you want to single the 3, I can understand it. I'm going to add those other 2 just for a little bit of value, because in the next race I'm going to talk about race number 5. I am going to single a horse. The race 5 starts the late pick 4. It's a maiden nickel going 3/4, and in the 5th race, in the pick 4, we will single ending and starting number 12, Post Impressionist, in the 5th race. Now, Post Impressionist is a son of Pater, and we'll talk about him after we come back from the break. First, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Turfway Park. The windows are open. 8 races on this Thursday program. Temperature just about 36 degrees. Of course, the poly track is fast. If you'll take out your racing programs, I'll give you tonight's late program changes. Race 1, start of the pick 5, kicking things off with a bunch of maidens to go 6 furlongs. Number 3, Ready, Set, Goes. Jockey is 5 pounds over the listed weight. Scratch number 4, Title Holder. Please be aware that number 8, Tantalizing, should be listed as a gelding, a first-time gelding. Number 8, Tantalizing, a first-time gelding. Scratch number 13, Lou Tass. Number 13, Lou Tass, is scratched from the opener. In the second race, which starts the pick 4, no changes in race 2. You'll turn to the third race, start of the single 6. Simply scratch the also eligibles, number 13, My Lady Dowry, and number 14, Promised Fame. Numbers 13 and 14 scratched from the third. In the fourth race, there's a jockey change on number 5, Kitten for Granny, make the rider Virginia Tormey. Virginia Tormey picks up the 5 in race number 4. Several changes in the fifth. Scratch the 2, Amarillo Citizen. Number 2 is scratched. Jockey change on the 3, Loud Brand, make it Gabe Lagunes. Scratch number 13 in the game. And a scratch number 14, Second Encore. Numbers 2, 13, 14 out of the fifth. In the sixth, overweight for number 8, Vandross. The rider's 5 over. Race number 7. Please be aware that number 5, Take Charge Angel, will race with bar shoes. Again, we'll have bar shoes on both fronts. That's in race number 7. Once again, race number 7, the 5, Take Charge Angel, will race with the bar shoes on both fronts. Eighth and final race with that carryover in the high 5, just shy of $10,000. Simply scratch the AE, scratch numbers 13 and 14. Those are the changes at this time. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, here at Turfway. Prior to the break, we got through the first half of the card. We'll take a look into the back half of this Thursday evening program from Turfway Park. Race number 5 starts the late pick 4, just 14% takeout on our pick 4s. It's a maiden 5 claimer to go 6 furlongs. I'm going to single number 12 in here. It's all about this one, Post Impressionist for Marin Motamedi and Marshall Gazzi. This one made all the pace last start for the 75 level to go 6.5 furlongs. With Leandro Gonsalves today cuts back to the 6 furlong distance, drops in for the nickel. Easy for me. Single race 5, number 12 is my top pick. Probably the most logical winner for me on the program. Number 4, Hold Me Back, is one I'll use in behind it for some exacta bets, and this one's 9-2. Comes from a good barn. Jimmy Jenkins and Ronnie Hale team up to send this son of Hold Me Back out, and their go-to rider Rogelio Miranda has the call. This one will show some pace on the turn back. Won't be as close to the lead, but won't be just a couple of links off the lead, and I think this one will hang on for a piece of it. Number 9, Holy Bowley, comes from the barn of Aaron and Jean LaCroix. This is the son of Silver City. He's by a Sun Bull mare named Holy Hasm. And this one woke up last start and was bet down to just about 7-1 that day. If you look the time before here at Turfway on the 6 furlong race on January 24th, the maiden nickel on the drop-in class showed some pace, was 7th beaten 10 links at 42-1. And off an 8th place, 10th place, and 7th place finish. When that one came back for the nickel last start, took a lot of money and the horse showed up as well. So I think this horse has turned the corner. I think that was barn money that showed up, and I think Holy Bowly here tonight is worth a play at 5-1 in behind the easy favorite, number 12, Post Impressionist at 8-5. Race 6 is a claiming event for non-winners of 3. 15-10 is the claiming tag. They'll race 1 mile. In this race, I'm going with number 7, Unite the Masses, as my top pick, but I'm going to spread in here. I'm going to use a few horses in here. I like this one for the simple drop-in class reasons. I'm a class handicapper and a trip handicapper. Those are probably my top 2 angles, and especially like even here at Turfway, I'll add in the horses for the courses and the riders that ride this track, because there are some nuances to this track that once they figure it out and somebody really knows it and puts that into their skill set, it really bodes well to have that in your arsenal here when you handicap Turfway. But number 7, Unite the Masses at 9-2 is a logical horse on paper. That allowance event back on February 1st, non-winners of 3 allowance, was nice, beating 11 lengths. That was a really good field. Royal Mesa, Thomas Shelby was second from the Wesley Ward barn that day, and this one I think on the class drop deserves a really hard look. Time before at this same level was second, just missed that day, and was the best that day. The horse got a real slow start, came rolling way too late, way out wide, but cleaner trip on the class drop. Unite the Masses 9-2. I think has a big shot at getting paid, but I want to have some coverage. I'm going to use several of the horses in here. Number 4, Yondering, was the beaten favorite last start and was well beat. 6 beaten 7 lengths, but I'm going to draw a line through that. That was coming off a almost 1-year layoff from the barn at Ian Wilkes. His horses have been faring very well here at the meeting. Hasn't only raced just a couple of horses here at the Winter Spring meet, but he had a good holiday meeting, and this one with a trip under its belt and an increase in distance I think will help, and gets the top jock here for the Woodham Thoroughbreds at 5-1. Number 8, Vandross, Anthony Stevens, well mounted for himself tonight. In fact, I think he rides 2 or 3 horses tonight from his own stable, and I think they're all live. And this one ran at Charlestown last start around the bull ring, going 7 furlongs, and made the pace and was 5th, ultimately beating 8 lengths, but did get jostled around and sequestered into the run the first turn. And time before that, win a race at the Mountain by 4 lengths. That was a non-2 allowance, but that probably equates to about a $10,000 race here. He's in for the 15 tonight, and if he can race that race back at Churchill, where that 30 non-2 level, that number he ran there when he was 4th, beating 7 lengths, I think he has a big shot tonight at 8-1. Race 6 for me, 7, 4, and 8. Now, race number 7 tonight is a filly and mare, 2 other than, or never won 3 life, or optional claimer of $40,000 to go 6 furlongs. And I don't think anywhere in the country you can find a race as loaded with talent in this class of race as tonight here at Turfway. They go for a purse of $50,000, and they showed up, and it's might as well be a stake prep, or could even be a stake. It's just loaded with talent here, but I think the race is also loaded with speed, and I think it's going to set up for a couple of horses that probably talent-wise aren't the best, or that certainly shouldn't be favorites in here against this type of field when you look at the numbers. So those 2 horses that I'm going to use in here as my top picks, they're big price horses. Number 6, Missile Harris, strictly on not only the rider change, big rider change on this one, from the rider that's normally ridden the horse. Last start at Corrales took over. That was a major upgrade as well. But he didn't ride the horse very well. He had an off night, moved the horse way too soon. Alex Ashard, very patient rider, smart rider, doesn't get very many opportunities, but is much better than the rider that's ridden this horse 7 or 8 times. He's going to improve this horse. This filly is a very well-bred daughter of Colonel John, and she's made almost $50,000 and is always right there, 9 for 23 in the money. And I think if Alex just takes this horse back like she prefers to run anyway and lets that speed go, it's going to set up for her. And she's a big number. In fact, she's 12-1, second longest shot in the whole race. She's my top pick, surely, on a possible pace meltdown in here. For second, number 4, Sugar. Couple of reasons. She will be last early. She'll save ground, she'll stay covered up. Ramos rides this track very well. The Apprentice has won a couple of races on this horse. I think he's 2nd or 3rd leading rider at the meet. I believe he's 3rd, but he will save ground on this horse. He'll keep her tucked in, and then when he gets about the quarter pole, you see he's going to make a quick right out to about the 7 or 8 path. She'll come storming home, and she will be running late. She's a 3-time Turfway winner. That's another angle I like. She's 7 times from 8 starts, 1, 2, 3, and she's 6-1. After that, I got to go with a speed horse, a class horse, number 9, Bingwa. She's a daughter of Golden Sense. Debuted at the River and won wire to wire, came back at Keeneland and was second, just missed. Then took a trip over the mud at Keeneland off the layoff in a first level allowance race, was second, just missed to a really good horse, and then traveled up to Belmont in one wire to wire, well off. I think she'll have some company though. She's coming off the bench. She's going to be pressed every step of the way. I have no doubt that she'll be fit, and she comes from a good barn, and at today's distance of 6 furlongs, she's well drawn to the outside. Now, Ruby Trust has speed. Somewhere I think will go. Summer Delivery doesn't need the lead, but I think she's going to show some speed just surely because of her post position. Take Charge Angel has speed. AP Princess has speed. Busy Mischief, I think will rate, but her last several starts she hasn't, but she's in a good barn today. She's been claimed since her last race. She's a 4-time winner from 5 starts. So I'm going to add a few horses in the pick 4. But as far as value plays, I'm going to put those horses I talked about, the 6 and 4 on top, and some exactas, and I'm going to hope for a meltdown and for a big payout with a 12-1, 6-1 as my top 2 choices in race 7. Now the 8th and final offers super high 5 wagering. There's a carryover just shy of $10,000 in free money. That's a dollar base bet where you pick the first 5 finishers in the race, take out the alsos. My top pick, number 4, bronze medal. And this one comes from the barn of Ray Hernandez, who all he does is win. He's winning, in fact, here, I think just better than 22% last I looked. And this one debuted here, was third beaten, 8 lengths for the 30 level. They thought enough of that performance to put the horse in a straight maiden, didn't fare so well. Now he gets aggressive, which he should have done in the second start. He should have went for the 15 probably in the second start and got paid. But they went for the maiden allowance, didn't work out. Now, Ray Hernandez has figured it out. He's figured out the condition book. He's been entering his horses very aggressively here the past couple of weeks. And look at his stats. It's shown. 25 starts, 6 wins, 4 seconds, and a third. I love a trainer that knows how to jam a horse in and read a book. And this one, I think, is very well meant tonight on the class drop. And 7-2 is a good price for me. Now, number 6, I think the horse may get overlooked. In fact, 6-1 on the morning line. And this one was 8th, beat 9 3/4 lengths out of 11 horses last start. But that was a very good field. The winner won by 5 that day, and this horse had a horrible trip. Broke extremely slow, was 17 lengths out of it, kind of stayed back there, and really wasn't given an opportunity to run until way too late. The horse did figure it out and started closing in and picked up some horses, had a pretty decent gallop out, but what I like since that race, came back and has worked very well. Look at the work on February 17th. That's a 3 furlong work, was a bullet that day. That shows to me that Murat Senkel has been working with this horse. He wants the horse to break better and wants to put some speed in the horse, and Gun of Glory, I think, will be much closer to the pace. In the second start of the Poly, I think you get 6-1. I think it's a good value, and you should use. Now, for third, number 8, Chicago Roll. This one woke up last start when making the Poly debut on the class drop, was third, beaten 5.5 lengths, coming out of the same race as my second choice. Beat my second choice by about 4 lengths, but I do think Chicago Roll is worth a look at 5-1, 4, 6, 8, my top 3 in race number 8. Well, that's the way I see it for the 8-race card. I'll be back a couple of times tonight, give you the pick 4s and my thoughts on the pick 6 as well. High 5 carryover race number 8. Race number 1, though, is in 15 minutes. Good luck tonight.